Hello, welcome to the Spotted Lanternfly Certification Program. This program will provide important information that will help you identify and reduce the spread of the invasive species known as the spotted lanternfly. And as always with our training documentation, we need to have it, so make sure that you follow the Smartsheet link in the email in order to document this training. The spotted lanternfly. Well, the spotted lanternfly was discovered in Pennsylvania in 2014, and entomologists from the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture estimate that it has been here since about 2012 based on the condition of old and weathered egg masses. The spotted lanternfly is native to parts of Asia and was accidentally introduced into South Korea in the 2000s. When it was there, it spread rapidly across that country, and it has become a serious pest of grapes and other agriculture. The spotted lanternfly is approximately 1 inch long and ½ inch wide when it's at rest. In this picture here, we see a full-grown adult spotted lanternfly at rest. They have hind wings which they show when they are startled or when they fly, as shown in this picture here. But most of the time when the adults are at rest, they have their forewings folded over their backs, and these forewings are gray mauve with black spots. So a common question that is asked around these flies is, do they bite or sting people? And the answer is no. The spotted lanternfly does not bite or sting people, but instead they have a long, thin, piercing mouth part that they insert into the trunks or stems, leaves, host plants, etc., and feed on the sap. You can see in this picture here covering the tree trunk a swarm of spotted lanternflies. They typically feed in swarms, and this can greatly diminish crop yields or impact large groups of forests or trees. So, as the lanternflies feed, they excrete large amounts of partially digested tree sap, which is called honeydew, and this is very high in sugar content. That honeydew is an issue because as the substance accumulates where the insects feed, a black sooty mold grows on it. And this mold can develop an unpleasant odor, and the honeydew can attract stinging insects. But the sooty mold can also result in a decreased photosynthesis for the plant, which affects the vegetation. So why does this affect us? Why is it an issue? What's at risk? Well, the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast hardwood industry is worth tens of billions of dollars annually. But not only that, our state and national parks in these affected states draw millions from outdoor enthusiasts, and they could also draw billions of spotted lanternflies given the amount of trees. However, many industries that depend on agriculture, such as shipping, processing, packaging, and other related services, are also at risk. So in order to comply with the quarantine, it helps to understand the spotted lanternfly life cycle. So you can see here that there are multiple life stages, and multiple life stages may be present at once. For example, in early fall, you may see 4th instars, adults, and even egg masses. So April through July, flightless nymphs hatch and grow. The nymphal stages are called instars, and every time a nymph sheds its skin, it becomes the next instar. 1st through 3rd instars all look very similar. They have black bodies and they have white spots. But each instar is bigger than the last. The first instar nymphs are very tiny. They are about the size of a tick, but move much quicker, and they have a different shape. In July through September, the 4th instars emerge. The 4th instars are bright red with white spots and black bodies. They are strong jumpers and will often jump away when approached or prodded. Starting in late July, the 4th instar nymphs transition into adults, and the adults feed on the woody parts of plants and can be present in very high numbers. You remember the picture of the swarm. The females lay eggs September through December, and each female can lay multiple egg masses. Each egg mass has between 30 and 50 eggs. So what are the quarantine restrictions? Well, the quarantine restrictions apply to a wide variety of goods, and it's important that we need to inspect the vehicle and cargo for signs of the spotted lanternfly. So brush, debris, bark, or yard waste can all accumulate them. Landscaping, remodeling, construction waste, log stumps or tree parts, firewood, packing materials, wood crates, pallets, all plants and plant parts, outdoor items, grills, chairs, and tables, vehicles, trailers, equipment that is not stored indoors, and hard goods, stone, tile, decorative materials, concrete, things like that. So many more. So what does this quarantine mean? Well, the quarantine order states that no one may intentionally move any viable life stages of the spotted lanternfly from within the quarantined area to an outside area. This means that residents and workers need to inspect any items that may have the insects or egg masses before moving the items. So from this map, you can see that Allegheny County and Beaver County have been added to the list of Pennsylvania counties under a quarantine for the spotted lanternfly. Therefore, all GIF deliveries and delivery vehicles and cargo must be inspected for spotted lanternfly before leaving. As of now, we are not in an infested location, but we are still in a quarantined area. If you look at Allegheny County here, Bridgeville is just under that dark blue line. So we are not an infested area, but given that we are within Allegheny County, we still need to do this so we don't become an infested area. And as you can see from this map, the spotted lanternfly has been identified throughout the northeast states. Besides Pennsylvania, there are counties under quarantine in New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. So what can we do to stop the spread? Well, the most important action in the fight against the spotted lanternfly is to stop it from spreading, both within the quarantine zone and especially beyond the quarantine zone. And this is where everybody comes in to play a critical role. So, one way that we can help stop the spread is to not park under trees or tree lines if at all possible. Since the spotted lanternflies tend to congregate in trees, not only does parking near the trees increase the possibility of hitchhiking, but the insects will coat anything below them, including your vehicle and equipment, with the sticky honeydew. So, another thing that we need to do is to swat or smash as many as we can. Remember that these insects are pests, and unlike other insects that benefit soil or crops, these do not. And because they are pests that destroy the national wildlife, feel free to swat and smash as many as you can wherever you are. Remember, they do not bite, so doing so will not harm you. Another thing that we need to do is inspect our equipment and our goods before we drive. So since we were in an infested area and in a quarantined area, regardless of whether or not we're stored near a tree line, we need to inspect it for any, and we need to destroy any egg masses. So, egg masses. As we said before, 30 to 50 eggs per mass. They laid in columns of eggs, and the overall height of an egg mass is usually about 1 inch. Alright, so an egg mass kind of looks like this. They start out shiny and very satiny, and then they go into a putty-like covering that dries. And as that egg mass dries, it becomes cracked. So you can see here, if we go back previously, this is obviously a new egg mass. And if we look at these two pictures, we can see the egg mass aging as it dries and cracks out. So the spotted lanternfly lays the egg masses on just about any hard surface. Think back to that previous slide where we talked about pallets, stone, picnic tables, things like that. And from mid-September through spring, the egg masses are the #1 way that this pest is transported. Therefore, it is important that we search for and destroy egg masses on equipment and other items before we move them. And a simple way that we can do this is just to scrape the egg masses off. So when making a delivery that designates from a quarantined county, we are required by law to log this delivery and keep a record of it for 2 years. A log sheet will be placed in each delivery vehicle, and all logs will be collected at the end of each month. The logs that we will be giving out have this PowerPoint included, the link to this video included, the link to report the spotted lanternfly, as well as this PowerPoint. So anything that you would need as far as a resource when you're in your vehicle or on the road can be found within that little binder. So other states have their own reporting procedures, but all we ask and all they ask is to take a picture of the insect or the egg mass with a smartphone or a camera with the GPS turned on so that they know the exact location. And if you find a spotted lanternfly outside a quarantine zone, capture it. And if you can put it in a container with alcohol to kill it and preserve it so the sighting can be verified. But refer to the links for the individual states and for reporting instructions. Again, there will be a QR code in that binder that you can scan and it'll take you to the Pennsylvania website. And that's all. Thank you for participating in this certification program, and don't forget to fill out that Smart Sheet form to document your training.